What, you don't want to swap spit?
You know, I don't think
Not
it
in
is
these COVID
advised
times?
or I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. Known you a long time. Your spit, I think, COVID or not, should stay to you, in my personal opinion.
Damn, I see how it is.
Yeah, I don't want you to take that the wrong way. I hope that this might harm our friendship. This might actually be the last time we're working together now because I said that, and I understand. But, I think I'm fine keeping my spit to me and your spit to you for now. Hello and welcome to Podcast Untitled. I'm your host, Dom, and today I'm here with my Project Untitled co-owner, Austin. How you doing today, Austin?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, as the title suggests, today we're going to talk about how we ate the entire menu from both Shake Shack and Taco Bell. We're actually sitting in the carnage at the moment of our final trip to Shake Shack. We didn't eat them both all in one sitting. We went several trips for each restaurant. Right now, you can go on projectuntitled.org and you can see our review of every Taco Bell item. And at the time of this coming out, we will have put up our Shake Shack review just last week. So that will also be out for you to view and get our opinion on all that. How are you feeling right now, Austin?
I feel okay. Definitely not as bad as some of the lows that we had at Taco Bell. But still not great. Not the greatest day I've had.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty decent too. We just finished up a bunch of burgers as well as the chicken dog, and we split everything in half. So my stomach is doing all right. Actually, there were definitely some Taco Bell days that I was not doing great. So just to begin, overall between Shake Shack and Taco Bell, which restaurant do you think you had the better overall experience eating the whole menu at?
So it's kind of really tough because the lows at Taco Bell were really low, while the highs at Taco Bell were really high. Where Shake Shack was just kind of meh in between. I never really had something where I was like really, really bad at Shake Shack, but I only had like maybe one thing that was really good at Shake Shack as well. I think I'd go with Shake Shack because Shake Shack didn't make me gag more than once. It was only on one thing, which was the Smoke Shack, or
No, it was the Shake Stack,
Shake
which was
Stack.
the shroom burger on top of a normal burger.
The shake that it made me gag once, and it was just the texture thing. So I think I had a more enjoyable time at Shake Shack. How about you?
No, Shake Shack for sure. Taco Bell's lows were definitely a lot lower than the Shake Shack lows. Also, a much smaller menu at Shake Shack. We got it done a lot quicker, and part of that also was scheduling was a little bit easier around this time for us. But I already love Shake Shack, which is why we picked it second. But Taco Bell definitely, I was not expecting it. Hurt me a few times, which I was not very happy about. The only thing I even had trouble with at Shake Shack, which, funny enough, it should not have been something I had trouble with, was the grilled cheese. I really do not like I really don't like that texture for whatever reason. It's the only thing that I really just did not want to swallow between both restaurants, which is funny because that should have been the very simple thing to order there. It's like what you get for your kid. I think today was a midday for us overall for what we ate. We both feel okay. We had some things that we didn't have anything we really loved today, but nothing that I was gonna say nothing that we hated, but I guess that's not true. You had a lot of trouble with the mushrooms in the two different burgers that contain that. But I don't think today was awful. What do you feel like was between both restaurants? What do you feel like was the worst day? Because I very clearly know what mine is.
The worst day for me was probably Taco Bell breakfast. I felt like I had a really tough time, and part of it is because I really just hate coffee. It's really what pushes it over the edge for me. Like having to wash all that down with coffee, and the stuff that I ate wasn't even very good. It's like you went there for the breakfast, which we were already going in expecting that was going to be bad, but like the potato cheesy toasted burrito, trash. The steak hash brown toasted burrito, barely edible. The steak grande toasted burrito, I basically gagged. That was really gross. And then putting the coffee on top of it. I mean, you look at the scores, and the highest thing was 73 for me for that day. And that was the hash brown. And, you can't mess up a hash brown. It was just okay. It's like those Cavendish, the frozen hash brown. So, I think that was my worst day. What was your worst day?
Yeah, I think for me it was very clearly the day where we did pretty much all the burritos at Taco Bell. And part of that, the breakfast was bad, and a lot of people told us the breakfast was going to be really good, but I know we didn't really believe them. The issue for me with the burritos was I had some expectations. It's fast food, but it's a Mexican fast food place. I was looking forward to some burritos. I know you don't even feel the same about this. I actually like beans a lot. I love refried beans. You don't even like beans. And I didn't like the refried beans, which was brutal because most of the burritos have it on them. But I'm looking back at mine now. My highest grade was a 70, and that was the cheesy potato griller. You can't even count that as a burrito. out of the actual burritos, it was a 67 for the shredded chicken, and my scores got as low as a 20 for that 7-layer, which we both, I think, hated. The beans were just brutal that day for me. I love refried beans, and I think that was part of it was it like hurt me. I was looking forward to these burritos, and they were really bad in my opinion. Adversely to that, though, my best day was also at Taco Bell, and funny enough, it was the first ever Taco Bell trip. So, the first trip we did for food for this, I guess, series in general. And I think that was because actually our highest rated item period between the two was this day, which was the cheesy gordita crunch. I gave it a 95. Do you have in front of you what you gave it?
The cheesy gordita crunch, I do. It's 94.
Yeah, so that was a big grade for us, and everything was at least around average for me this day. I really had a good time this day. What do you think your best day was?
So my best day, it's kind of a sidewinder. It's actually the specialties from Taco Bell, and it really speaks about the highs and lows of Taco Bell, how our worst and best was both at Taco Bell, and on different days too. But so part 3, right? The specialties. The worst thing I gave was a 37 to the Power Menu Bowl, and that was out of spite. I gave it a 30. Like, it wasn't like that it was unenjoyable and that I didn't want to eat it. It was just that, why would anyone get this? This is such a waste of money. I'm giving it a 37 out of spite. So realistically, I didn't give anything below a 60 that day, if you discount the Power Menu Bowls. So it might have not had the highest highs of that day, but it was like probably the most enjoyable day I had overall.
Yeah, looking back at my notes actually now that I found the day, that's pretty decent candidate. I also gave the Power Menu Bowl 35, so you weren't alone in that. I think that also was... A lot of times I think our scores can be affected by disappointment factor, like I said with the burritos. Because I gave the Nachos Bel Grande 43, which actually is usually a menu item I would enjoy probably. Again, it was more just I had some expectations that were let down. Looking back, actually, another really good day for me at Taco Bell. I believe this was our second trip, where the cheesy Fiesta potatoes was a huge surprise for us. We both really enjoyed that. The beefy Frito burrito was that day. Shredded chicken quesadilla melt we both enjoyed. Spicy potato soft taco, maybe rest in peace. I'm hoping that's coming back since they brought potatoes back, but that was always one of my favorite menu items. Cinnamon twists were a bit of a surprise to me. I mean, obviously nothing crazy. They're just, like little fried pasta with cinnamon, but that was good. So that was another good day. Yeah, Taco Bell really had some really awful days and some really good days. I don't remember there being like a day like today at Taco Bell where it was just kind of like, it was what it was type day at Taco Bell. Taco Bell really was peaks and valleys.
It was interesting, for sure.
Yeah, Taco Bell was eye-opening, at least for me, too, because I would say very confidently that for you and me, when we would hang out a lot, that was always like a go-to for us. It was like, we would get Taco Bell. And I don't think I realized how much I really zeroed in on their menu. There's like maybe 5 to 7 things I would get consistently, and then I wouldn't touch the rest of their menu. Not because I thought it would be bad, which some of it did end up being, more just because I enjoyed the good things so much.
Yeah, their good things were really good, and that's really what it's like at Taco Bell. And Taco Bell it was or maybe is my favorite fast food restaurant, so we would end up going there because the best things are good. The cheesy gordita crunch, the Crunchwrap Supreme, their quesarito, which rest in peace unless you order on the app. They had some really good stuff. It's just the bad things that you stay away from aren't really bad.
Yeah, I definitely would have agreed with you going into this. Taco Bell was probably my favorite, and going into it at the very end after we rated everything, I threw out the idea of doing a tier list at the end, because one thing we wanted to do was try and keep our reviews separate, meaning like when we were eating Shake Shack, we didn't want to have an item and then have to constantly go back through the other restaurants we did and be like, oh well, is my rating accurate stacked up to this Taco Bell item? So we tried to make it so that the ratings were separate for each restaurant. So I thought, why don't we do this tier list, and then we can compare the restaurants between each other as we have them. And going into this, I was like, oh, Taco Bell, that's going to be an easy S tier. But then I really looked over all my grades and how I felt about a lot of the food, and I ended up putting it in C tier. And I guess part of that was disappointment, but there was a lot of really good items, and there was a lot of really, really bad items. I think you put it in B tier. I don't know how would you have also assumed it was S tier without context?
100%. I would have put it in S tier, but based on the items that I normally got. But trying the whole menu, I just don't think it belongs in S tier.
Yeah, I think... Again, the breakfast for me also, like you said, that was like your worst day. The breakfast for me was crazy because so many people told us it was good. Because we were both very hesitant going into that, where we were not looking forward to that already. But people kept telling us, no, it's good. I think I probably had 4 different people tell me they enjoyed it. I think you might have had even more. You kept telling me people are telling you too. the lows of their menu, at least for us, were really low. Obviously, everyone's gonna have different opinions, different tastes, but those burritos for me were just bad, and that breakfast for me was just so bad. It's just hard when I feel like a third of your menu is stuff that I would order again, and 2/3 of it I wouldn't order again. And obviously, then they purged their menu, making that I don't even know what the ratio becomes then, but even worse. I know they're bringing the potatoes back again. I don't know exactly what's coming back and what's not. But hopefully they bring back a lot of that spicy potato soft taco, man. I'm gonna really miss that if that's not coming back with the potatoes.
Yeah, the cuts really affected it. Like a few years ago, I think I still would have been able to give them S tier, and then even like maybe 2 years ago, I would have been able to give them A tier. With all the cuts, just tough. And we're gonna have to see what they bring back. We might actually have a bonus episode eventually because Taco Bell's now added some new stuff, and it's teased that they're adding some new options for the vegetarians and such. So we might actually get a bonus Taco Bell episode to one more later on.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that if they add a lot of stuff in 2021, I think what we'll do is at the end of the year, we'll do a reviewing Taco Bell's 2021 editions. And we'll have to decide if things returning we might review. Because maybe, for all they might return a little different. I don't know, if they bring back spicy potato soft taco, for example, if there's a chance they change how they make it a little bit potentially. Because I know that the reason it left originally, they said, was with the potatoes in general, I should specify. The pandemic, apparently, they wanted to get food out as quick as possible, and the potatoes would slow that down. So they might not. They might just be back as they were, but it might be worth retrying items that left and came back. We'll have to discuss it. It'll depend how much, too, obviously. If they add a lot of new stuff, I think that'd be cool. I'm assuming they're going to add some type of Beyond Meat or whatever, one of those brands, because so many fast food places have done that now. I know a small chain that's just by us that we've discussed recently with Island Empanada. Even them, I was looking at their menu the other day to see how big it was if we wanted to try and do that soon. And they actually have some of that, that fake meat. I don't remember which brand they use, but I'm assuming Taco Bell's going to bring that. Burger King has it now. I think McDonald's made their own. I think it's called McPlant or something. I don't know if that was. I saw that. That might not really be what it's called, but I'm assuming Taco Bell's going to bring some type of fake meat like that.
Yeah, so they're saying like March 10th for the Beyond Meat, like right when the potatoes come back. It's going to debut soon. So with that, and considering they already added to their menu, the value menu got 2 new additions in the chicken chipotle melt and the loaded nacho taco, which are both really solid additions. We're gonna have some stuff to try possibly sooner rather than later. We'll have to see what they add when it comes around to March 10th to see how much Beyond Meat they add, how many menu items they bring back, and we'll see when we get there.
Yeah, I think that could be a good piece. I know you sent me the other day too. It was, I believe it was called a chicken sandwich taco, and I know that's in 2 test markets right now. It'll be interesting to see if that makes its way to us. Obviously, no part of me thinks that'll be a permanent addition, but I definitely would like to try that if it comes our way. The way it looked, I don't know how much I'm going to like it. The shell looked very odd. I have no idea. I believe you compared it to a pancake when you sent it to me. Have you heard anything about that? Do you know, have you seen anyone that's actually eaten it yet? Or is it not even out yet, even in those markets?
No, it's actually not out in the markets they're testing it in. It's the crispy chicken sandwich taco, and it is being tested in select locations in both Nashville and in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Nashville's obviously in Tennessee, and that starts March 11th, so they haven't even started testing it yet. Okay. But yeah, the outer shell kind of looks like a pancake to me. It looks a little funky.
Yeah, it does. You're right. It looks soft, and the shell looks very thick as well. I don't know. My assumption is that it's going to be similar, feel and texture-wise to the chalupa, but it definitely does not look like a chalupa shell at all. I don't know what that shell is. I'm looking forward to trying that abomination when it reaches us, though.
Yeah, I'd be excited. I'd be excited to try that because I usually actually like their chicken stuff. Their chicken stuff usually hits really well, and I get really sad whenever they lose it. I've been hoping for the Chick Star to come back ever since it went away. So I even though it doesn't look very good, I still have high hopes.
Oh yeah, naked chicken chips in general. Speaking of that Chick Star, you're right. They do a great job when they do chicken. Funnily enough, I mean. I don't know that this might be reaching, but I don't know if it's partly having to do with them being part of the same conglomerate that owns KFC potentially. I don't know if they, I don't know if they're drawing help from anyone else, but they do a really good job when they do chicken stuff. The chicken chips I loved. I loved having those, and I loved having that Chick Star. That was really good. The chicken shell was really good as well. I'm trying to remember all the chicken stuff now. I don't know am I forgetting anything that you can think of?
No, I was thinking of that chicken shell, and that's really about it. Chick Star naked chicken chips.
Yeah, they do good stuff. Those and the The nacho fries, every time those come back, they make me happy. But I'd love to see a return of the chicken. Obviously, the nacho fries have come back, what, 3, 4,
They're
5
currently
times?
back.
Are they?
They're currently back
I
at
didn't
Taco
even
Bell
know.
right now.
See, I've told you this a little bit. I've been cleaning up my diet lately. In fact, I cut out all added sugar of my diet, and it's funny because right in front of us right now is a shake that we were both having, and Katie was giving me shit. People don't understand how important what we're doing here is, Austin. Because I told her, I said, she's like asked me how my diet was going. I'm like, it's going good. Me and Austin are going to do Shake Shack though. And I said, I got to make an exception for that because that's work. And I got an eye roll, which I feel like was disrespectful. I don't think people understand what we're doing here.
This is serious business. Who else is going to evaluate entire menus and tell you guys what you should eat and what you shouldn't? And that if your opinion is different from ours, you're trash.
Yeah, it's insane. This definitely has not become a very popular YouTube trend to have a video titled, I ate the entire blank menu that's happened since we decided we wanted to do this. This is very unique. And this is very important. I think those are 2 words that describe this accurately. Of course, too, we have big ambitions for this. We have quite the list of restaurants we would like to go to. What do you feel like, though, is like a good, maybe, I don't know, 4 to 5? Like, what do you think are like the batter-ups, if I want to word it that way, of restaurants that might come up next or more soon?
Wendy's is definitely one of them. Wendy's is one we've been discussing for a while, where it seems like it's one of the big 3 of like the burger chains, so it feels like one that should be hit, and it's got a lot of stuff that we're interested in. I don't typically go to Wendy's actually very often, because I actually really don't typically eat burgers. But I'm excited for it because Wendy's, I feel like, has got one of the nicer menus all around. We're gonna be trying salads and stuff like that. So I feel like Wendy's is up there.
Wendy's, sorry to cut you off. Wendy's for me is intriguing because I feel like we really need to do one of those big 3 between Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's. And this is going to be dumb because it's still fast food. But Wendy's, when I would eat fast food a lot, was one I would go to not feel shitty about myself. I felt like I could eat Wendy's and feel like I wasn't eating as bad as if I went to a Burger King or McDonald's. I'm sure if you look at the nutrition facts, that is not even close to being accurate. I'm sure it's just as bad as the other 2, but it made me feel better. Not to cut you off, I just went, while we were on Wendy's, I wanted to throw that out there.
That's fair. Apart from Wendy's, I am really, really interested in hurting myself and doing Arby's. The amount of hatred and visceral I have for Arby's without trying it is high. And still, people like the Taco Bell breakfast come at me saying, no, you need to try Arby's. So one of the guys that said I needed to try Taco Bell breakfast is in love with Arby's, and every 3 weeks I send him a tweet that said, damn, look at this Arby's chicken sandwich, and it looks like they picked this out of a dumpster, and it's really gross looking, but I want to try it. I want to hurt myself. I want the pain, and that's what I feel.
I don't know if I would say I would want it. I do agree that it's going to be necessary. It just, I have a few issues. One, I'm not super into roast beef to begin with. I will have a local diner. I'll get a French dip from time to time, which is as close as I'll really get to eating roast beef. If you don't, it's literally just a roast beef sandwich, and then you dip it into some au jus gravy. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's as far as I really go. And so the idea of getting that from a fast food place, it kind of turns my stomach. Also, I feel like I look at Arby's promotional pictures, and the food looks bad in the promotional pictures.
Oh, it looks awful.
Yeah, and as I've said, cheese for me is not something I'm a big fan. And their cheese always looks unpleasant in their pictures, which is, again, scary. Usually promotional pictures, glamour the food, glorify it. I'm really not looking forward to Arby's, but I agree with you, it's necessary. The things I really don't want to do are Arby's and anything seafood related. I am not a huge seafood guy to begin with, so fast food seafood scares the hell out of me. Outside of seafood, Arby's is the only restaurant that I look at. I'm like, oh boy, I'm nervous about how that's going to make me feel after eating it. Especially now, like I said, I've been cleaning up my diet. I can't imagine how my stomach is going to react to us going to Arby's when I don't eat fast food outside of us going to these restaurants.
Yeah, so everything at Arby's does look bad, even the promotional pictures. I will say, though, if someone wants to donate $5,000, I will do Long John Silver's. Wow, I can't speak. I will do Long John Silver's for a small donation of $5,000. I only say that because we don't have a way to donate to us yet. So I don't really do it. I don't eat seafood at all. There's nothing I eat. Not tuna fish, not pollock, not anything normal, not bass. There's literally nothing I eat from the sea other than sea salt. That is the extent I go. So we will never be doing Long John Silver's here, essentially. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't go past baked clams typically. I do want to try more fish. I'll say that, not fast food fish. I do want to. I haven't tried a lot of fish, so I don't think it's fair for me to say I don't like it necessarily. I had shrimp and lobster as a child, and I haven't really had that since. To be fair, my father randomly became very allergic to it when he turned around 17 or 18. So I do want to give shrimp and lobster and crab another try, but I'd like to get allergy tested prior to that. As for Long John Silver's, I don't even know if I mean, that $5,000 might just be for Austin to go, from being honest. No, Long John Silver's, for one, we don't even have one, I don't believe, in a reasonable distance to us. Am I wrong about that?
It's Farmingdale. So
okay, so
it's
that's
about 40, not 40 minutes. It's more like 25, 30.
Okay, I was thinking we had more of a couple hours, so never mind. I was gonna say that might be, and this obviously is speaking hopefully, that might be a, if we get sponsors type trip, a Long John Silver's, but actually it's not that far actually. But yeah, there would have to be a lot of incentive for us to go there. I really, again, fish for me is already hit or miss, and I don't, even that doesn't seem true because, again, I don't really eat fish, so fast food fish disturbs me. The one question I have for you, backtracking just a tad bit, if we do Arby's, yes or no, do we have to do the Meat Mountain?
I feel like we have to do the Meat Mountain sandwich. I feel like it's going to be painful, and I really want to do it just to experience the pain. I'm a bit of a masochist, so yeah, I think we need to.
You keep using the word want, and while I agree, I would prefer the word necessary. No part of me wants to put that in my body. Want is a scary way to put it. You have a picture up right now that I can see, both promotional and one that looks like it was. It does look like it's not meant like it was supposed to look. It looks like somebody made a mess of the one they made. But I'm going to be honest, even if I ignore that, I'm looking at the promotional picture and it still looks disgusting.
I live by the motto, invite the fight. I'm inviting the fight. I want this. I want the pain. I want to experience it and then tell everyone that Arby's is indeed trash.
Yeah, I think that there's a smugness that comes with it. To be like, no, again, with the Taco Bell breakfast, we got to go back and say, you guys are crazy. And I don't want to go unbiased. I've looked at their menu. I don't remember it right now, but I did look at it for a while when we talked about it. And some of it didn't look that bad, but man, a lot of it makes, it just gives me, makes makes my gut feel upset just looking at it. I do, especially that roast beef. Look, again, roast beef for me is a very once in a while thing. Like, again, like a diner, I'll get a French dip, but fast food roast beef, it feels like the type of thing that should not be fast food. I don't know.
Yeah, I ate Roy Rogers when I was a kid. Unfortunately, we can't do Roy Rogers. That doesn't exist near us at all anymore, at least that I'm aware of. But and I didn't really particularly like it. I didn't like roast beef. Going back to the thing you said about there's some things on Arby's menu, the thing I think of is the buffalo chicken sliders. Those actually sound pretty solid. And I've heard good things about them, and I could believe that. I feel like that's actually going to be a menu item that, if we do Arby's, is going to be good.
Yeah, I think Arby's is going to be... that's not true. I was going to say it's going to be like Taco Bell, but I don't believe that. I don't believe there's going to be anything that we eat and we are doing backflips for joy. But I don't think every day is going to be awful. I think there are going to be some things that surprise us that we enjoy. I don't see myself ever becoming a regular Arby's, though. I don't know. Again, maybe it's been stigmatized for me. I think my favorite part of Arby's is the voice of Archer doing the voiceover for the commercials. I can't remember the guy's, H. John Benjamin. I think H. John Benjamin is my favorite part about Arby's, if I'm being honest with you.
I like their motto, we have the meats.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it's really meats, but they've got something that they put on a bread and they serve to you.
Also, their curly fries are probably going to be fire. I have high expectations for curly fries. That is maybe the one thing where I'm going in where that might be able to achieve a 90 off the brain, the dome.
I did forget about this. I actually have heard a lot that Arby's curly fries are fantastic. So that actually maybe we'll do a day where we just get curly fries and some. Do they have shakes? I actually don't remember.
They do.
I'm sure they do.
They do have shakes.
I'm sure they do. Okay, mm-hmm. So maybe we'll just do a fry and shake day. So that we're not super sad. That will probably be down the line, though. I don't want to spoil it here, but we do have our next restaurant picked out, and I hate to break it to you, it's not Arby's.
It is not Arby's.
But so Wendy's, Arby's. Where else do you think should be coming up soon-ish? Obviously, this is all relative because they're scheduling. COVID doesn't help things, making things move quickly for us, and then we both are fairly busy.
It'd be a very tough menu, but it is something I'm very excited to do, and I would like to look into Sonic. Sonic's menu is extensive. It would be a multi-trip. It would be the longest trip we probably have out of any fast food restaurant because of the nature of it, because there's slushies, there's ice cream, they actually have a really big food menu with a lot of different options. So Sonic would be one that I would be looking forward to, but I don't think it's going to be in the next couple because of the nature of it being so very long. Likely we might even end up doing DQ before it because DQ's menu is so small comparatively because they don't have much food. DQ has I don't want to estimate it, but they have a really small menu in comparison to Sonic's, even with the ice cream considered. So I would like to do Sonic, and I think it's down the road, and it's one that I'm very excited for, but it should be one that comes up eventually.
Sonic's tough because Sonic logistically creates issues for me. Typically, for the last two, I've gone through the menu, I've made us a list, and I've broken it down to days and said, okay, ideally, this is how we're going to attack this. I don't know how I want to attack Sonic because they have X amount of just flavors for the slushies, but then they have X amount of add-ins. Obviously, we're not going to do a piece where we review every single slushie combination that's in. Do you know how long that would take? It would be insane. So I think that's going to be one where more planning-wise is going to have to be more in sync of we have to go back and forth. How do we want to do this? Obviously, bare minimum, it has to be one slushie of every just flavor add-in. But then my favorite slushie at Sonic is it's a cherry limeade slush adding Nerds, which in reality all that is the cherry flavored slush. They add their limeade and then they also add Nerds. But that's my favorite. But then it becomes, well, now do we have to try limeade in every flavor? Logistically, that's going to be hell to decide how we want to attack it. I'm not sure yet how we're going to go about that, and that's why I agree with you. It's not going to be super soon, but I agree with your sentiment of putting it in the bullpen of I think we both would really like to do that. Me and my girlfriend Katie love going to Sonic actually. That's we don't get fast food a lot, or we try not to, but that's usually if we have the time, because that's another probably, what would you say? It's probably a 25-minute ride from here, roughly, going out to Sonic. 20 is probably more accurate, but
I was going to say 15 to 20.
Yeah, it's not exactly close. It's not far, but you know what I mean? So that's a one we enjoy going to from time to time. Plus, sit in the car and eat is, I guess, it becomes a fun thing in a way.
It might be something where maybe on just random days, I might just hit up Dom and be like, yo, you want to go get a slushie at 10 p.m. and we'll knock them out that way, or we'll just one day we won't do a full menu thing. We'll just do one slushie at a time just to say we did, and then we will have days where we go to Sonic and just get a bunch of things at the same time. But we'll just randomly go just to get some slushies or something.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to definitely. Like I said, I think the hardest part of it is just gonna be logistics, deciding what slushies are on the list. Once we make the list, I think we can do it a little easier where we'll do a food day and then we'll each get a slushie on the food day, and I guess we'll bring spoons and try each other's slushies would be the easiest way to handle it.
What, you don't want to swap spit?
I don't think
not
it
in
is
these COVID
advised
times.
Or I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. Known you a long time. Your spit, I think, COVID or not, should stay to you, is my personal opinion.
Damn, I see how it is.
Yeah, I don't want you to take that the wrong way. I hope that this might harm our friendship. This might actually be the last time we're working together now because I said that, and I understand, but I think I'm fine keeping my spit to me and your spit to you for now. Maybe down the line we can talk about it. Maybe if post vaccinations we can discuss spit swapping, but I don't think right now it's a good idea.
Yeah, I feel like off the bat I'd give you some B tier spit.
Yeah. That's above the tier I put Taco Bell in. So I think having my spit be higher than Taco Bell is I'm happy.
Bet.
But yeah, logistically that's going to be absolute hell. But after that we can kind of do we'll get these food items and we'll each get a slush, and that should lower the impact. I think there's going to have to be a slushy day at some point period because of how many we're going to have to do. Maybe an ice cream day for sure. I think the ice cream, we should just do an ice cream day. That'd be a fun day.
Yes. The slushies are what really really add to it. It's compared to DQ, with all the menu items and the slushies now on top of the ice cream. I feel like this might be wrong, but I feel like Sonic has more ice cream options than DQ as well. So it's at least close. It maybe matches it. But it's going to be tough, and that's why it's definitely not happening. The next one is probably not even happening in the next two. It's going to be something further down the road that we would like to do.
Yeah, for me personally, the next one and the one after that, I think I would like to do one very mainstream place and one more obscure place. I think a place I'd like to talk about again, like I said earlier, was actually that Island Empanada. I believe there's 5 locations in existence, and it might be less. It's somewhere between 3 and 5. I don't remember. But not necessarily that, but a place like that. One where there's only a handful of locations. I think that'd be fun for us. A more interesting menu. But definitely, I want to hit one of those big 3 between Wendy's, Taco Bell, and Burger King. So far we've said Sonic, Dairy Queen, one of the big 3. I think I'm trying to think of other places that would be interesting, actually, that we haven't said yet. I know one we spoke about was Subway, and I was all about it, and then I remembered, and again, this is the problem. A lot of places have this, where it's like, I think of one item, and I'm like, oh, I got to eat that. For McDonald's, or even for me, it's the fish fillet, which it doesn't touch what I'm saying with Subway, but I cannot, and I know a lot of people that eat the Subway tuna, but that Subway tuna, to me, it looks like I'm going to eat cat food, and I really don't want to eat that Subway tuna. But Subway's a contender. There's Jersey Mike's around here as well. We could maybe do that. I don't know if their menu is smaller, because I think for those 2 places, it'll have to be we'll go off their menu. You know what I mean? Because, again, that's one of those ones where there's an unlimited combinations you could order. I think we'll just have to do... They do each have a set menu that you can order from. I believe Jersey Mike's actually should have the smaller menu as well. Me and Katie went to Subway the other day, and I noticed they added, protein bowls, which, again, is just a Subway sandwich in a bowl. And I know they already had some salads and stuff there. So I think going off menu, Jersey Mike's was already going to be the easier one. So maybe if we want to do a sub place / sandwich place, we'll start there.
I think what would be cool, too, to do on the sub places is we would do the entire menu, and then we'd do our signature sandwich. Because I'm sure your signature sandwich might be one of the ones on the menu. But my signature sandwich at Subway is not going to be on the menu, and I feel like I could rate that comparatively and put that out there so you guys could see what I normally order as well.
I typically have 3 things I pick from at Subway, and they're all off menu, but I could review an old childhood favorite of mine, which I actually don't think is going to stand up to me currently. I don't think I'd hate it, but as a child...
We could review each other's, get a foot long.
That would be interesting. So if I had to go off menu, my childhood order, when I don't want to say I was a very picky child, but a lot more picky than I am today, which, I mean, that probably goes for everyone. It was, if I remember correctly, it was just straight up salami, mustard, and pickles. If I remember correctly, that was it. That was the whole thing. I might have to ask my mother. But I think it was just those 3 ingredients. That was like my go-to as a child. I would get a foot-long Italian herb and cheese, salami, mustard, and pickles, which I don't think I'm going to like as much now, but I don't think I'm going to hate it. I still like all 3 of those things.
I have never had salami to this day.
Really?
I've never had salami to this day. I know I don't like pickles, so...
We got to get some hard salami in your mouth.
I've also never had mustard.
That's going to have to happen.
I've never had mustard or... Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I've never had mustard either. Just a random
Yeah, we've had this discussion. Yeah. What was it? There was another thing you had for a long time you had never had, and I think me and our...
Twinkies.
No, condiment-wise. I think it was mayo. Didn't me and our mutual friend Jay make you have mayo one day?
Oh, yeah, I never had mayo until I was like 16.
Well, okay. I feel like there was something else. I feel like there was something like last 3 to 4 years me and Jay made you try. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just remembering the story of it. But yeah, I forgot. We have discussed how you've never had mustard.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And with Subway, I honestly didn't have Subway till I was 10 either. It's just something I never tried because I didn't really like sandwiches. But now, like, I've gotten the same thing since I was 10. I got a Italian herb and cheese, grilled chicken, provolone or American. Usually I go with provolone. Toasted with ranch on it. Really simple because I have little boy taste buds. But
hey, that's pretty much what my girlfriend orders minus the ranch. She literally just gets cheese and chicken toasted. I definitely think Subway will be interesting, and I actually really like that idea. I think if we both tried each other's like old childhood go-to, that might be fun. Sandwich places for me, I actually don't really remember going a lot. I do remember that being what I ordered. I think part of it too is that for us being on the East Coast, it's very common just to go to like a deli and get a sandwich. I think it's harder now actually. I mean, you and I have had this struggle where there's not really a place super close to us that we like really love for like subs and like a local place. I mean, We had one place we loved, which I'm not going to name because it's not relevant to anyone that doesn't live in our area, but changed management, and I know you had a very... that we'll save that story, actually.
It might be a story for another day. I basically fought a sandwich owner guy.
Yeah, which... Well, I don't always agree with some of the arguments Austin's has, and I don't necessarily agree with how this one started either. However, it definitely went downhill very quickly when management changed, and I no longer really enjoy their food as much as we used to love that place. Now we have another place we go, but again, it's... what is that? Like, it's about a 20-minute drive away, a little more.
Which one are you talking about?
When we go to Northside?
Oh, Northside. Northside, yeah, that's a bit of a drive. That's also about 20 minutes, 15.
Yeah, which, again, 20, 15, it's not bad, but it's like, when we're just trying to get like a quick lunch, that's not super close. I know there's a lot of people that have to drive farther just to get to like the grocery store, the areas they live in. We're fairly suburban here, but, again, that place that we used to love going to was around the corner from us. So we don't have a great place like that now, which I feel like has actually made Subway a more viable option for me recently.
Chubb's is getting better. I feel like Chubb's is a really good spot, and that's actually local. It's a new place that kind of opened by us. Does things a little bit weird, a little bit differently. They make burritos and heroes, and they're just a normal deli, too. Like, I went there with my girlfriend once, and she just got a roast beef sandwich. And they're coming up. They don't have, like, something that, like, what the other place had that, again, we won't name it. They had a fried chicken cutlet sandwich with mozzarella, brown gravy, and waffle fries, and it was to die for before it got retaken over. Chubb's doesn't have that, but Chubb's still has some really, really good stuff.
I did forget about Chubb's, actually. The first time we went to Chubb's, and again, you can order, just normal food, but yes, their menu, like their on-menu list, there was nothing normal, was my issue with it. Everything was weird, like, oh, let's throw jalapeno poppers in this sandwich, let's throw it in this burrito, let's throw, tater tots in this and that, which is fine but it was very much a once-in-a-while place for me. And then I did see, yes, now they're like, their on-menu items, they have like a normal Italian hero option. Like, they have normal options now. So yes, Chubb's, I did forget about Chubb's. I do enjoy them. It's definitely a place on the come up by us. I forgot about them, yes.
Yeah, and what's great about them is their meat is like, it's fresh. Because Chubb's didn't start as a deli. They actually have another location in a town over where it was actually just a butcher shop. Like, they didn't start as a deli. They started as a butcher shop. Their meat is like their meat. So that's something to feel good about when you go there. So I really enjoy them. I don't go to them as often as I'd like. But it's definitely... It's a good place, I'd say.
Yeah, I enjoy them. But so getting back on topic, though, are there any other chains that you think are high on our list for maybe in the next 5? Not obviously, there's a lot of things I want to do long term that are very ambitious, but like coming up soon could potentially be in the next 4 to 5 places we go. I feel like we've hit most of it. I don't think we're forgetting anything.
Yeah, and the next... what's funny is before Shake Shack, we were going to do something very similar. We had talked about doing Five Guys first because Five Guys menu was really, really small comparatively. And so that might be in the next 5 as well. So watch out for that. That might be like the 5th one, though, because we just did Shake Shack, so it's pretty similar.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, actually. So we originally were going to do Five Guys, yeah. And then I remember what happened was I was at home. I didn't feel like cooking. And I was lazy as hell. I ordered a Shake Shack burger. And I literally texted you that night. I was like, dude, I forgot how much I love this place. Can we do Shake Shack next? And that's how we got to this.
Yeah. It was a quick decision because we were pretty set on Five Guys just to knock it out. And then Shake Shack came in and was like, no, us next.
Yeah, so Five Guys would definitely be soon. But like you said, I want to wait a little bit on that just so that we're not doing the same restaurant basically back to back. I feel like it would be like doing McDonald's and Burger King back to back, which I also wouldn't want to do.
The only other 2 things is we probably should do a chicken place. KFC, Chick-fil-A, or Popeyes. One of the big 3 of those as well, because that could be in the next... Obviously, we're naming... I think we're out now. We've now named more than 5, so something's not going to come in, but I think doing one of the big 3 of the chicken places by us. I know that there's bigger chicken places, but those are the 3 that we have on Long Island.
I can't believe I forgot about those, because both Popeyes and... Chick-fil-A for me are probably some of my favorite ones. Yeah, so I would say within the next 5, we're going to do a big 3 of the burger places, Wendy's, Burger King, or McDonald's. A big 3 of chicken places near us. Probably Dairy Queen, but either a Dairy Queen or a Sonic Drive-In. And then again, I want to do at least one more obscure chain that, look around us, kind of see. Island Empanada is the main one that comes to my mind right now, but if we could find one that's maybe a little bigger than that, I think would be good. And then I think Five Guys should probably, I think that's going to be the next five probably to come up.
Yeah, and then Subway will be somewhere afterwards.
Yeah. It's funny because we probably named everything in our area while discussing what might come up next. But there's a lot of places we both have that we want to go to that we just can't hear. And again, with this being a thing that, we've put money into this website and everything, and we're not getting money back, which, wasn't the point of it. This isn't me complaining about it. Just to say that, going and traveling to get fast food is not necessarily something on the table at the moment. But if in this magical theoretical world, I said, tomorrow we're gonna we're gonna take a road trip to, you pick whatever state you want to do whatever fast food restaurant you want for the next oof. Where are you looking at?
If I were to get my choice, I just want to put my runner-up. My runner-up would be Culver's, because I've heard so many good things about Culver's. Culver's has been widely talked about. I saw a tweet the other day by a football star, a talk show host, Nate Burleson, and he said, name your top 5. And I was just scrolling through kind of looking, because it's applicable to this. I want to see what people are saying. Maybe it gives me ideas. And a lot of people had Culver's. Unfortunately, the closest Culver's to us is either in North Carolina or Ohio, which is, regardless, a long drive. To Ohio, it's at least 8 hours, because I made that drive to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's not super far from Ohio, but it would be like 8 hours at least, and I don't know what it takes to get to North Carolina. But that being said, Culver's is my runner-up. My number 1, I don't really have a particular reason other than I've just loved the name and I feel like it always sounds good, is Bojangles. I really wanted Bojangles ever since I heard of it. And because I heard it's just like Popeyes, but a little bit better. And Popeyes is one of my favorites. Popeyes is like one of the top 5 for me in fast food restaurants. And it more than likely is top 3. So I would love to give Bojangles a try down in Florida. I tried doing it. I have family down in Florida, and I went there. Bojangles was an hour drive. Unfortunately, I couldn't get there during my time there. I might try to look again. I'm going to Florida in next month, and I might try to get it then. But for now, it's something I really want to try. How about you?
So it's funny that you said Bojangles, because something that's very high on my list would be a Church's Chicken. That's been a place that's intrigued me again. Another chicken. We love chicken. So I definitely think that would be one for me that I would like to go to. But I'm looking at the list right now, because we have an extensive list of places, both bias, not bias. Which actually, by the way, just to backtrack the tiniest bit, at some point, somewhat soon, actually, I think it would be interesting to do one of the big 3 pizza places. That's like the only thing near us that we didn't mention, because I'm looking at that now. But travel-wise, Church's Chicken's up there, and then I would really like to, but we'd have to go to Texas. I wouldn't want to go to another state. If we can go wherever we want, so full send. Whataburger is the one I'd really like to try, because I know that's very highly touted over there. And then, I know I'm giving more than one, but then also the only other things I think of would be like a Wiener Schnitzel or an A&W, because we don't really have like a hot dog fast food place near us. So I think those would be interesting just to see how fast food hot dogs are going to get slung out.
I wonder if they would let us into the airport just to try A&W. There's an A&W in MacArthur Airport.
I was not aware. That's news to me. That's why I gave you a weird look when you said it.
Yeah. So one of the airports closest to our house is MacArthur, and I usually fly out of there. Unfortunately, you have to go through security and then up a set of escalators, and then A&W's on the left in the airport. And so I don't think we'd be able to do it reasonably. And it would surprise me when I first saw it. I had no idea we had an A&W on Long Island. And, I mean, technically it's tucked away into this airport. So I don't think we'd be able to do it. But it would be cool if we were able to, like, hey, we're going to DoorDash it out of there. I don't think you can. I don't think it's available on DoorDash because it's past security, like I said.
Yeah, that would be interesting because, again, like we said, we usually do these in several trips. So, I mean, maybe we buy the cheapest plane ticket possible and spend a day in the goddamn airport just eating A&W all day. But I agree with you. That's not ideal.
You could get round trip tickets from Frontier, which is what I normally fly, for literally $25 at its cheapest.
Oh yeah, but again, I mean, you know what? If you're down, I'm always down. But if we want to go spend, $25 each so that we can sit there and then eat the entire menu in one sitting. I mean, I guess I'm not totally opposed to it. I'm not sure it's the ideal way to do it.
there's like punishments where people stay in like a Waffle House for 24 hours. That would be us. We'd stay in the airport for 24 hours.
And I've noticed through this episode now that you seem to be enjoying the part of the series where we could potentially punish ourselves. I don't think I'm on board with you for that. You're really all about hurting us during this episode. I'm starting to learn that. I feel like this is a discussion we should have had sooner because I didn't realize how much you wanted to hurt us. It seems you've lied to me because we have information coming in now that that A&W is permanently closed. My assumption is that is COVID related.
I guess
I also
so.
see on there that it has 2.9
It
for
was
its
not
rating,
rated high.
so it probably. Well, I mean, again, it's airport fast food, so that doesn't surprise me. But so I guess that's a never mind on that whole.
Yeah,
segment
so
anyway.
I'm a liar. It's not. Well, I'm not a liar. I definitely saw the A&W and it was there, but I just went to go Google it to make sure, see when it was open, and then it says nah, it's permanently closed. So we don't even have an A&W near us, at least close.
I mean that probably works out better. I don't have to worry about you being like a secret domestic terrorist or anything, and us not getting it anyway. But I think aside from those, though, I'm gonna keep. Oh, it's tough. I'm between Church's Chicken and Whataburger for me. Church's Chicken just always intrigued me, but I feel like Whataburger might be a better choice if I had to pick one. I don't even know where the closest Church's Chicken is, but I have a feeling it's going to be closer than going to... Because, again, if we get Whataburger, I want to go to Texas. Just like if we do... I wanted to say... If we do...
In-N-Out?
Yes,
California?
Thank you. If we do In-N-Out, we got to go to California. I know there's one... I know, again, Texas, you can get In-N-Out, but if we're going to do In-N-Out, it's got to be in California is my stance.
I feel like the nearest Church's Chicken is going to be in Ohio. Ohio has like everything that's closest to us that's supposed to be south.
Is there none? I feel like there might be some southern East Coast. I could be wrong.
Could be Delaware. Delaware is like a sneaky like southern state, but we didn't have any. We didn't have like Bojangles or anything in Delaware. It's a small state, obviously. So, there is a Church's Chicken in Manhattan.
You beat me to it. I was also here looking, and there is 8th Avenue. So, you know what?
That's not far.
That is not far. Church's Chicken.
Fun fact, me and Dom have gone to the city together just for food, but way before this was even an idea. Way before we were even thought about talking about this.
We out here exposing ourselves now. Yes, we did. I believe we spent that day eating pizza, churros, and french fries. We literally went to a place just for french fries, which... Very good. I would go there again.
Yeah, Palms Frites was really good. We went to the Terraria, which was a little bit disappointing, and then we went to just a pizza place that was featured in one of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, we picked a random pizza place and just happened to be where they filmed scenes for Tobey Maguire to be the delivery guy in Spider-Man, which was pretty cool, accidental choice.
Yeah, and that was the entire point of this trip. We didn't want to go anywhere else besides just get some food, and we wanted to try that fry place really bad.
Yeah, so as much as we both love Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, if we're going to do a chicken place, actually, maybe it might be fun to do a place neither of us have ever been in. Church's Chicken is the first one. We'll have to see, again, logistically. I don't know how big their menu is, which would be tough, too, because how many trips do we, especially right now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the idea of public transportation. So that might be I don't know how long of a car trip that would be. And also driving in the city, it may be one of the worst things ever. So it may get pushed off just because I might want to wait until COVID's a little easier to deal with, but we'll see.
So... According to Google, it'd be only an hour and 20-minute drive right now, which is it's starting. It's kind of, this would be not busy time. It's 2:40 when we're recording this. So
if we could do it in one trip, that's easy for me. For us, I feel both of us are down enough to do road trips. We're both down to do dumb shit enough that we're fine with that. But
I think driving would be the move because it depends. I don't know if this is next to a train station, this is close to anything.
That's true.
Like I'm not very familiar with like New York City transit.
Yeah, I don't want to be getting on any trains right now. I'll say that much. I probably haven't been the most careful person in the world, but I don't want to be getting on public transit.
Oh, it's right next to the Lincoln Tunnel, basically.
Okay.
Okay, that gives me a good idea of where it. Now that I'm seeing it on the Google Maps, it might be better to take a train because what I'm seeing is maybe like 10 blocks away from it is Madison Square Garden.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm sure it is better to take a train. It was more right now. I'm not prepared to be getting back on trains.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
So
that's why I'm saying maybe when COVID's a little easier to manage, we'll look at that. That's my one hang up is again, I haven't been the most careful person during this. I would say. I never stopped working too, which is probably part of it, so it was a little harder for me to be, but public transportation I'm not quite ready for. What are you showing me? Well, where it is.
It's right next to Times Square.
Which means it's right next to Penn Station. Which also, Penn Station...
Dirty.
Penn Station is gross when there's not a global pandemic.
Yeah, Penn Station was gross before COVID.
Yeah, logistically that might be an issue. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But all right, that is going to do it for this episode of Podcast Untitled. Austin, thank you very much for joining me again, the second episode you've been in with me.
It's a pleasure.
It's always great having you, bud. We have a lot of exciting things, I think, coming up. We have a lot of ideas and a lot of ambitions that may not all be fully realistic at the moment with, budgeting and stuff like that for us. But we have a lot of really cool and fun ideas we have coming up that we're really excited to share with everyone. So seriously, go check out projectuntitled.org. If you want to hear more from just Austin, you can check him out. It's at Austin_D1 on Twitter. He also is on a Pittsburgh Steelers podcast with another good friend of ours who I think is going to be coming up in some Project Untitled stuff soon. That's the Stronger Than Steel podcast on YouTube. And if I'm correct, it is Stronger_Steel on Twitter. Is that correct?
Yep, that's the correct ad.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to plug, throw in closing? Anything at all to say to them?
No. The one thing I will say is we were talking about the Subway tuna earlier. If we remember, I sent Dom a TikTok of them actually making it. I'm gonna have him put it in the description so you guys could see what it looks like when they make that. If we remember, don't hold me to it.
I'm gonna do my best on that. I think I'll be able to remember, but I hate it, so I might not put it in as spite. No, if we remember, I'll put that down there. Look, if you enjoyed this as well, I recommend checking out. I can't say how. I don't know that this is necessarily going to be our second episode. It'll depend, but this is the second one we've recorded for the podcast. The first one is me, Austin, and our friend Sean playing the card game Super Fight. It's not perfect. Again, we're kind of learning how to do this type of stuff as we go, but I think that was really hilarious. So there's going to be links both for that video and the audio-only version on our website in the description for this. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We will see you soon.
Goodbye.